All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Top Agent Podcast. I'm your host, eXp icon, Ryan Espey. And of course, joined by my co-host, eXp agent Stacey Regula. Stacey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. I got a touch of the COVID.
Yeah, I've
So,
heard.
yeah, tested positive yesterday, got isolate. So, opportunities to do a lot more of this kind of thing, I suppose, as long as I don't pass out and my voice holds up. But today we've got a special guest. And when we were talking about who we should have on the show, it kind of was a no-brainer. When you actually brought it up, I thought, that's a great idea. So Rena Prefontaine is going to be joining us, and she is the broker for Manitoba. And I see she's in the waiting room right now. So let's get wrapped up here, and then we can get going. So what do you got to say about our guest here coming up, Stacey?
Well, when I was thinking about who to interview, I couldn't think of anyone better than Rena. I find her extremely inspiring, and she's an amazing broker. So I thought it would be a great opportunity for everyone to hear what she has to say.
Awesome. So without further ado, let's bring her in the room and let's get rolling. All right. We are now joined by Rena Prefontaine, and she is the broker for Manitoba and has been an agent for quite a while. But we're interested in getting into your story, Rena, and the story that we all have a background. So Stacey and I come from an unlikely real estate background of being in corrections for a number of years. So I guess the first question, first of all, please tell us a little bit about yourself, but we're really interested in hearing about life before real estate right off the bat here.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me. So my name is Rena. I come from a background of a whole lot of different things, like many people. I grew up in a small town called Ile-des-Chênes, Manitoba. I worked restaurant industry for many, many years. I worked for Air Canada in the reservations in the call center. I do speak English and French. So after Air Canada, I actually got a job with Manitoba Hydro. So I worked for Manitoba Hydro, and I was thinking I wanted to be an accountant at some point. And for those who know me, know that's really not my personality. I found myself a little bit bored just plunking numbers all day long. And so I really wasn't enjoying my job. And a friend of mine at the time had said, have you ever thought about real estate? And I'm like, no, why would I think about real estate, right? It didn't even cross my mind as a career. But I met and interviewed with a broker, and I absolutely was like, yeah, I could probably do this. I mean, I came from hydro, from hospitality industry, et cetera. So, I mean, I had tons of customer service, and I also knew of the hydro power smart programs and all of that other stuff and electricity and how it works and stuff. So it just kind of was like, And then when I started studying the courses, I realized, yeah, a lot of my past history just really easily fell into real estate. So I'm not sure why I didn't think of it before, but yeah, no, on a personal level, I have two adult children. I have two beautiful grandchildren. I love to play baseball. I'm an avid Jets fan. I like being involved. I like golfing. I like curling in the winter. Fishing for sure, summer and winter is a huge thing for me. It's kind of where Stacey and I bonded a lot, was over fishing, but definitely have a lot of hobbies in that regard.
So it's an unlikely background, of course, which seems to be a common theme amongst realtors. There's not a ton of them that I would say have aspired to do that. So your why ended up being a realization that kind of you might be good at this.
Yeah, for sure. For me in the beginning, it was just kind of a way of getting away from the accounting world that I thought I wanted to do. I love numbers though, right? So again, the real estate just kind of plays right into that as well, because you're dealing with, with value of house and, percentages and that kind of stuff all the time. So yeah, I wanted something more, and I wanted to be able to help people because I've always been, at my best when I've been able to be of service to somebody. And so that's why my jobs in the past have always been, customer service related. So yeah, it totally felt like a natural fit for me.
Yeah, and that's part of what inspired me when I met you is, I was leaving a government job, and I was still not licensed at this point, and you're like, I left hydro to go to real estate, and it was just really good to be able to talk to somebody that actually did it. And I really, when I found out you were the broker for eXp when we met up for coffee, I was just like, oh, this can't get any better. So it's been really great. So
yeah, it was. I mean, people always said, like, to me, you're leaving hydro. Nobody leaves hydro. Everybody just retires from hydro, right? And it's like, I want more, right? Like I want more. And the position I was in at that point in time at hydro, it wasn't the right fit for me, and I wanted more. And so, just like you guys, right? When you left correction, it was, you left for a reason, and it didn't have to be a bad reason. It was time to grow and time to thrive at something else. And that's really what pushed me forward and propelled me through the first couple of years where, maybe real estate was a little bit harder than hydro, right? But yeah.
So what year would you say, when did that happen? When did the transition into real estate actually occur?
You know what? So for me, it was I had this conversation with the broker in September 2009, and I was licensed. I was licensed by March. So it was I spent about a month or two kind of thinking about it, kind of praying on it a little bit. Like, is this the right choice for me? Whatever. As soon as I made the decision, it was December 1st, bought my first course, and I was done within 3 months and licensed and up and running in Manitoba. So it was quick, and it was, once I decided it was the right thing for me, I jumped in with both feet and haven't looked back.
Nice. So saying that, then what drew you to eXp?
Yeah, you know what? I was very comfortable with where I was at. I was with a franchise, and I had been with them my whole career. I started as a brand new agent at the franchise and worked my way up to becoming a broker. And I thought that was where I was going to be. I had a friend who used to be in the same franchise, and he had made the decision to leave because he saw the opportunity at eXp and just how different the business model was. And so he had left about a year and a half before I did. He was in a different province. And so in Manitoba, when they were ready to open eXp in Manitoba, he had called me and he said, hey, listen, we're opening eXp in Manitoba, and I know you're super happy where you are, but we want a broker in Manitoba. Do you know anybody who has their broker's license who may be interested? And I'm like, well, hold on a second. Like, I've been watching you for 2 years almost, right? Like, I see what you're posting. I see what you're doing. I've investigated the company. Just at first, I primarily investigated them as competition, right? If ever they come into the Manitoba market, what's my competition as a broker? What do they offer that agents might be interested in? And then when they had approached and asked, if I would be, not if I would be interested, but if I knew anybody who would be interested, I kind of said, well, I need to do this for me. I need to take a look at the business model for me. There was something really exciting about being the one and only the first person in Manitoba at eXp. Because again, I had been with franchises, right, who have a history, 40 years in Manitoba. And so you inherit, as the broker, all of the different personalities, and, some were absolutely amazing and others were a little bit more challenging to deal with. And that's in any job. But for me with eXp, it was an opportunity that I could build this brokerage from 0 agents to whatever we're going to end up growing to. I mean, I'm so excited that we're already at 50 agents here in Manitoba in 16 months. But it was also an opportunity to build a company with people that I knew, people that I respected. Maybe I didn't know you. I mean, I had never met Ryan until we started meeting about eXp. But I feel that we've really grown a brokerage of people that are very respectful, people that are super collaborative, and people that care and give back to their community. And those are values that I hold true to my heart. So to surround myself with those types of people in eXp has been super amazing, and I loved it.
Now, Stacey's got a follow-up question to that, but I wanted to make a comment because you said something that really resonated with me. And it's the comment that you said, investigating eXp as competition.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I often tell people is, even if you are not interested at all it is beneficial for you to educate yourself about the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So watch a video, come to a lunch, do that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it falls on deaf ears. They just stick with the, I'm happy where I am. But then it goes back to the old saying that you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Once you've seen it. So
yeah, that's 100% true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I've been curious. And what changed for you after you joined eXp?
What changed for me? I mean, in my career, I mean, it's the people that we have here in Manitoba have, I think, because we lift each other up so much, I've gained so much confidence. I don't feel like I'm a top-down leader. I feel like I'm very collaborative, even when it comes to my leadership. But I also know that if there's tough decisions that have to be made, I can make them. And I know that I have the respect of the agents within the office to be able to make those tough calls when I have to. Thank goodness, haven't really had to, which is awesome because, again, we have such a great group of people. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what's really changed for me is I feel a part of. I don't feel like I'm being, I don't feel like I'm working for an owner who's overseeing every action that I do. We're free to move and to grow and to fail, right? And accept your mistakes and carry on. And again, thank God we don't have many of those. But even if there is a little stumble along the way, which is going to happen, you pick yourself up and dust yourself off and off you go. So it's been a super awesome experience, and I think my professional growth has been incredible since I joined eXp.
That's so good to hear.
Now, there was a few things in there. It brings back eXp being really still in its infancy in Manitoba, just over a year old. I remember some of those first meetings and how kind of exciting and scary it was all at the same time. We're all under non-disclosure agreements. We can't really talk about it yet. I had to find eXp through a Saskatchewan agent. And my old broker, telling me that, they're investigating this thing that's coming. And I thought, wow, that's kind of exciting. I want to be a part of that. And to our first meeting, and to this day, I'm so thankful that that decision was made to join up with this amazing company.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, Ryan, you said you heard it from your previous broker.
Mm-hmm.
I heard it from mine as well. Like when I was at national conferences for 3 years in a row, they talked about disruptors in the industry and who they were. And eXp's name came out for 3 years in a row. And so when you keep hearing something, I personally need to go and look at it, right? And so when you look at eXp, it's different. It's, is it for everybody? Probably not. A lot of people are comfortable where they are. And there was an old saying that I use quite often is, just because your shit's warm doesn't mean you have to sit in it, right? Like,
Yeah.
And so part of my language, but I mean, the reality is that you get comfortable at being comfortable, right? But you don't grow until you feel uncomfortable.
No.
And so the true growth happens when you're uncomfortable. And so for me, it became, I have a very good life where I'm at. I love the brokerage I was working for. I had a really great relationship with the owners. I had no qualms. I wasn't looking, but when the opportunity was there and I really took a serious look at the opportunity, I had to be honest with myself, and once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. The numbers don't lie, and just the knowledge that, or the belief that this business model could really change not only my life, but the life of my family, life of my grandkids, the life of my community. Like, that's where it really spoke to me, is just how much can change just by making one change in a business.
Yep. Well, we have some other questions that we're going to ask you that are maybe a little bit off. Some of them are on the subject, some of them are off the subject.
I feel like I'm in a hot seat. Am I in trouble?
You're kind of in a hot seat. So these are general interests, getting to know you type questions. What is your favorite thing to do? And you talked about this a little bit, but What is your absolute favorite thing to do when you are not doing real estate?
Honestly, it's probably time with family. And
Okay,
whether it's at the lake, on a boat, fishing rod in my hand, or even if it's just, babysitting the grandkids, absolutely family is probably near and dear to my heart. And even though sometimes they make me crazy, I still love them. And at the end of the day, that's all we've got is our family.
100%. And I think when we all think back to why we made this switch, that is definitely a huge factor. Now, do you read a lot of books, Rena?
I do read.
Okay.
Yeah, I try
What
to
is
read at least a professional development book a month. I'm not necessarily totally on goal
awesome?
with that, but
So, which one has had the most influence on you?
um, you know what? I like actually a book at the previous brokerage I was at that was suggested by the owner was the 5 second rule. And so it's like you count down from 5 to 0 and then you make a decision. So whatever you're faced with, give it 5 seconds of thought, and then it's like, yeah, especially when it's a task you don't want to do, right? It's like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's just do this. And you sit down and you put your head down and you do it. So for me, it was, the book kind of repeated itself a little bit. It wasn't, in my opinion, the best written book, but the concept of the 5 second rule, it was, you got 5 seconds to wallow in it or to whatever you're going to do, procrastinate, and then just get up and do it. So whether it's getting out of bed and, instead of hitting snooze, just, okay, the alarm went off, give yourself 5 seconds, get out of bed and get to it.
I kind of love that. And I wrote that down because I've never heard of that book, and I'm definitely going to give it a read because I am kind of like you. I read a personal development book all the time, but my goal for getting those finished often falls to the wayside. Now, do you have a favorite movie?
Tough one. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh my God, everyone says Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
It is classic, serious classic. But yeah, if I want to, something funny, corny, don't have to think much, Big Daddy with Adam Sandler. I mean, that one to me is just, yeah.
I had to go for Forrest Gump.
Stacy says Forrest Gump and Titanic, but you guys can probably guess what mine is, and I won't make you do it. But if you want to take a shot at it,
is it Rocky?
It is.
Yes.
How did you know?
But which one? No, they're all good.
Yeah.
The single best piece of advice you have ever been given.
Single best piece of advice. Don't stop swimming, really. I mean, that's from, what is it, Dora? I don't know. Anyway, no, but just, I mean, really, I honestly think that you're never given more than what you can handle. And even though, you may be in a, whether it's a bad moment, a bad month, a bad week, whatever the case is just keep looking forward because, you're going to, again, with pain, there's growth. And you're not going to grow unless you go through the pain. And I really, truly, honestly believe that you're not given more than you can handle. And you're probably stronger than you actually realize. So just, just know that there is a sunny day on the end of whatever cloud happens to be hanging over you. And it's just a moment. It's not your whole life.
That is good advice. Deep.
That's amazing. So now the fun part.
Yeah.
We're going to give you some word associations.
Yeah, I get the fun part. So.
And you're going to say the first thing that pops into your head when you hear these words.
I will try to keep it G-rated.
Okay.
Don't worry about G-rated. Just don't drop the big ones.
I have done that before, so I'll behave. What do you got, Stacy?
It's funny because I actually did mention Ryan. I don't know if we should do this with Rena because she might shout out something inappropriate. He said that doesn't matter. So, yeah. All right. Number 1, icon.
Agent.
Okay. eXp.
Unlimited potential.
There we go. That was a good one. And Glenn Sanford.
He is a visionary.
Yeah.
Nothing inappropriate. I'm impressed.
Inappropriate.
Pretty good, hey?
Yeah.
Rena, that's all we got for you today.
Yeah.
We keep it short and sweet, and we're going to keep doing these, and it's a new thing for us here in Manitoba that we're going to be pumping these out. But what do you have to say in closing to everyone that's going to watch this?
To everybody who's watching this, whether you are, in real estate or not, I think just, it's been said to me in the past, just be the best you can be, right? Be the best version of you. Don't worry about what others think. Don't listen to other people's opinions. Make your own opinions, do your own investigations. If you are an agent and you are looking at eXp, reach out to somebody who's in the business. We all know it, and I'd be happy to have a chat with anybody. If you're thinking eXp, or even if you're not, if you're having a bad day in real estate and you can't go to your broker and you just want to vent to somebody, or get another opinion, reach out. I'm available. Look me up. You'll find me.
Well, that's amazing, and I appreciate you so much, and you have been so helpful to me throughout my transition into eXp, and just thanks for being there.
No problem. It honestly has been such a pleasure getting to know everybody, like people that I didn't know prior to, right? Like Ryan, you're primarily Portage La Prairie, right? So our paths never crossed, but to watch everybody grow and the company grow in this last 16 months has been absolutely amazing. And I'm so glad that I have the opportunity to be with Stacey, because she didn't join me when she first joined, but she did. Now we're together. And so I just feel like it was kind of a natural progression. You had to be there to get here. And I'm so glad that you are here.
Thank you. You've made this process so easy for me. And, when I found out about eXp, it was like, whoa. And you and Ryan both have made this process amazing. So I feel like I've really learned a lot in the last couple months.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me, guys. I appreciate you both.
We appreciate you. And thanks everyone for watching. If you haven't smashed that like button, please do so. And of course, it is free to subscribe. So please hit subscribe and click that bell, and you'll be notified whenever we post new content.